Jesus. So how much of that movie did you sleep through?
At least a solid 10 minutes at some point.
No, it was longer than that.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, you snore pretty loud.
You see, because that's the thing is, at a point, this is true. At a point, I actually snored so loud that I woke myself up. And I thought to myself, what the fuck noise did I just make?
It's funny because I thought that exact same thing. Because I'll recreate it for you.
I think I have
Just
sleep apnea. I don't even know.
Back to sleep.
No.
You like one of those blowers that like blows air up your nose.
After that weird noise, I kind of like, I mean, cough. Oh, that was weird. And after that, I was shockingly awake because I was worried that all 5 other people in the theater would be offended that I was sleeping through Jesus.
I was so offended. Were you offended?
So offended.
Totes offended. I think you should probably have to go watch it again to see the parts that you missed. You missed the torture scene and the other torture scene.
No, I pretty much came in
and
whenever...
the Jesus makes a black friend scene.
No, I saw that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
When
no.
did you fall asleep? You fell asleep during Caiaphas is a douchebag?
I fell asleep during the, Pete blows him off a couple times part.
Gotcha. You've all seen this movie.
Or read the book.
The book was better, yeah.
This is the most told story ever told. It's so fucking boring to sit through it.
I was thinking to myself, I don't think there's any literary character I've seen beaten up more than Jesus. And that's including, like, Riggs.
Barring Spider-Man, yeah, I can't think of much else.
Spider-Man doesn't get beat up in front of his mom every single time, so there's that at least.
Oh my god, his parents are dead. Asshole.
Too soon, Sarah.
Jesus.
Okay, so, like... don't you take this movie's name in vain.
Son of God. Oops.
So I'm sure you all know the story. Apparently there was some, like, mini-series on, what was it, like, the History Channel?
Is that where this was from?
Apparently, there was a mini-series that was, like, the Bible, the mini-series, and I guess what this movie was that they took the Jesus-y bits, and they kind of recut them into a movie, and I think they did fairly well. It's what I'd call your standard Jesus fare. Jesus wasn't...
You know, in the genre of
in the
Jesus.
genre of Jesus movies, this was pretty standard. Jesus wasn't nearly as white as he seemed in the previews, so that was nice. At least I think that the issue, watching him, you know, more extended bits, what made him seem so extremely Caucasian was just that everyone else in this series has kind of normal-looking teeth, and Jesus looks like he's wearing, like...
Oh, he just...
glow-in-the-dark falsies.
Yeah, he got like some fucking George Washington style veneers.
It made him look
put
like
on
George
there.
Hamilton. Like if George Hamilton and Arnold Vosloo had a Jesus baby, that is what the Jesus in this movie looked like.
It's like, you need new teeth, but let's make them out of chiclets.
Yes. Or like when Ross did his teeth in that one episode of Friends. They're like glow in the dark, remember? Remember that one episode of Friends?
No, I don't.
Ross did his teeth. Anyway, the girl who played Mary was kind of ridiculously hot in this. Like, not his mom, but like the prostitute. They didn't really play up the prostitute angle or the I don't know how to love him angle. She was just kind of there with the rest of the...
But she was kind of there the entire time.
Yeah, well, I thought it was okay, you know? They didn't try to make her a love interest, and they didn't, you know, again, play up the prostitution angle. She was just kind of the lady apostle.
You missed the best part of the movie, though, and it concerned her.
Oh, I left. I had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, and you missed it.
What, was she prostituting it up?
No. She made a sound that I've never heard a human make in my life.
Oh, do
And
tell.
I could not help but laugh in a theater of Jesus people.
There was 2 Jesus people in that theater.
No, there was like a whole family back there. They had kids who were asleep, apparently.
It was pretty tame. Like, the Jesus torture scene wasn't... I mean, I'll get back to it when you're done with your story.
Yeah, no, it was, they put him on the cross, and they lifted up, and, some Roman is like, "Hey, King of the Jews, bet you can see the temple from here." And then before it pans over to Mary, you hear this sound. And then it pans over to her, and she has the most fucking horrifyingly ugly cry face I have ever seen on a human. It's bad. But she's making this ugly crying face, and it pans to her, and she's like halfway perched on the ground, so she looks like some sort of like a lizard person.
You're the worst person.
And it's kind of like a single shot of her. She's like this kind of close, like. That's it. But it's just is so long and pronounced. I was like, what the hell was that? She's a demon.
Pride prefers his grief dignified and understated. So, like, make a note of that.
Never cry in front of me. I will laugh at you.
They call you a lizard person, apparently.
What?
So if you are going to cry in front of Brian, cry like this.
Yeah, if you're going to cry in front of me, don't be perching on the ground, not unlike a lizard, making some predatory defense noise of, leave him alone.
There were some weepy motherfuckers in this movie, though. Because, like, I thought the ugliest crier was, Peter. Because they had kind of like they bookended it with Peter on the beach, kind of like chilling and being old. And at the end, you know, Jesus shows up to be like, "Hey, you're dead now. Come with me. Come." And Peter's kind of like this.
I knew you'd come back when I died. It's like, that was unnerving. Smile cry thing, that's unnerving.
Yeah, that Matthew's cry was kind of sweet, and it was just kind of like I will come with you and stop taking taxes. This is my favorite, I think, out of all the crying in the movie. There was Paul was kind of the master of the welling tears just about to break free of the surface, like... There was just, I'm just saying, there was a lot of crying in this movie.
Doubting Thomas, who does nothing but doubt everything ever. So
Doubting redheaded, blue-eyed Thomas.
So they get across the point that doubting Thomas Fitzpatrick.
Well, the thing is, like, all the other characters seemed at least grounded somewhat historically, except for Mary with her gigantic dangle earrings and her perfectly coiffed hair. So I have to assume that maybe in the Bible, Thomas is from Ireland. And I just didn't read that chapter.
He believes fuck nothing that happens in this movie.
Not until Jesus showed him his hand with like the sunshine shining through the perfect hole in the middle, which I burst out laughing every time that fucking happened because everything else was relatively understated.
Gave him the Richie Gecko,
and then it was just kind of like,
look at that.
Thomas, put your finger in my wound. Bloop.
But yeah, he just, I love that he believed like nothing. It's like, I'm the way. No.
Nope.
I'm not buying.
Didn't happen.
No. But yeah, he was the master of Irish grief, just sitting there, just like, it's like, Jesus has come back, like,
no, he hasn't.
No. You just stare at the table. That'll help.
Yeah, I was gonna say that you could tell that this was a TV miniseries because, like, his wounds towards the end were pretty congealed and sand encrusted, which was gross, but like when he was getting his 40 lashes, it was basically just like they'd cover the whips with paint and just kind of like flap, so by the end he was just kind of striped it.
Yeah, he was just smeared with like barbecue sauce.
Mm-hmm. Although again, there was some really good acting in this movie, and he was selling the whole ouch, my skin is being flayed from my body. He had a pretty horrifying crying face too. See, I think that was the thing, is that they were all crying realistically. It wasn't like a, Jesus. It was like a, this person that I know and love is being horrifically tortured in front of me sort of attitude.
Well, Roma Downey, which, spoilers, Roma Downey's in this.
I think it said that she was a producer on it too, didn't it?
Yeah.
So's her husband.
She was just wailing like a banshee.
And which one was she?
Jesus' mom.
Okay.
The other Mary.
I don't know people.
Or would the other Mary be the other Mary? I don't know.
The OG Mary.
But, yeah, she was just, it's like, ah, my son! Ah!
It was very heartbreaking.
That's, ah!
I think Brian came just now.
I don't know, like, you seem to appreciate the acting a lot more than me. The guy that was playing Pete was pretty good.
Pete.
Run a
Pete, I call him Pete.
Run a
Like
casual basis. But for the most part, it's like none of the acting was really all that terrible. It was just, hey, we're in a mini series.
The thing that bugged me the most was that every once in a while, Jesus would, we kept calling it sexy Jesus, but it was really more creepy, smug Jesus. And every once in a while, he'd his smugness would get so intense that he'd affect a different accent. And it was like an accent you've never heard before. It was just kind of like this mishmash of over-enunciation.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of an example because I laughed every time it happened.
Well, and he was smug, but at times when it was very inappropriate. Like, there were times when it was like, you know, he's being smug to be fucking cute.
Yeah, like,
You know,
fish, you guys.
It's like, come on, let's go fishing. It's like, no. Like, I'm going to get in your boat anyway. How about we go fishing? It's like, we won't catch
You're being
anything.
more charming about it. For me, it was
Throws
like...
the net in the water. He's like, oh, here, I'll just dips his fingers in there. It's like fish for days. And, but that whole time he's just kind of sitting there like,
Yeah, no, it wasn't even that
fucking
charming. It
fish,
was like
isn't
a...
it? You didn't think there was
Just
going
like
to be fish.
wandering through the water towards his boat, like, you're gonna have to let me in. Look, I'm in the water already.
I'm all wet and standing next to
Hair
your boat. Might as well pull my ass in. But then at other times, it came
Rock me,
across
creepy Jesus.
really dickish. Like, he goes into the temple, and it's the part where it's like, what? People changing currency in a temple? That's silly. And starts just flipping over tables, which no one in the world tries to stop him.
Well, I think they're because it's not so much like a temper tantrum, like it's usually portrayed, so much as like a diva hissy fit. He's just like swanning through this temple, just.
He's flipping these tables with like little effort. Like one he just walks up to, just one hand just puts his hand under the corner, just like
Fuck your shit.
flip,
Flip.
fucking shit everywhere. Now what you gonna do? I'm Jesus. But he's so smug about it, very self-righteous.
Well, dude, after he got out of the temple, he saw that little girl with the dreadlocks, and he's like,
Felt her up.
yeah, he's just like poking her in the stomach. He's like, you see all these big buildings? There's not going to be a stone left of any of them. And then just keeps walking.
It's really unnerving, and especially the fact like he keeps like poking her in like the belly,
She has no idea how to react to it, so finally she's just like,
and then yeah, he's like, it's like tomorrow there won't be a single stone left standing. And then rubs his hand down her entire front, and then gets up and just bye and just leaves. Like,
I have anointed your child's torso.
like, did he? I think that's a crime. I mean, maybe not then. I guess you are my child bride.
But the guy who played Pilate, I thought could have done better. He was kind of a Smarmy Dick, though, which is...
Oh, he did fine.
His wife was...
A bit preachy. She was a bit aggravating.
Again, like, the all of my biblical knowledge is from, like, Sunday school back in the day, and Jesus Christ Superstar, and in Jesus Christ Superstar, Pilot's the one that has a dream, but in this one, she's the one who has a dream, so I'm not sure which is accurate, but, I preferred it my way. They took Herod out of the movie as well, which is too bad, because that was my favorite song. There's not really much to say about it.
She was singing it in her head.
Oh yeah, because like he was bored to tears, but I was just singing Jesus Christ Superstar in my head.
See, since King Herod didn't show up, she didn't get to sing that song in her head. I didn't!
He's like chilling out on his fantasy island with his John Lennon sunglasses, just covered in bitches.
Yeah, it was just...
What's the buzz? Tell me what happened.
It was such a smug movie. It just, I don't know.
It's Jesus.
Yeah, but I mean, fuck.
At the end, it was very much like Jesus was haunting them, because it wasn't like he didn't like come back to life all like present and corporeal. It was mostly just like, "Ooh, you guys, I'm Jesus. Eat this in remembrance of me. Okay, bye." And then just drifts off.
It's like, I'm just gonna kind of fade back into this soft lighting we have.
It's a Jesus hologram.
Oh shit, like Tupac?
Exactly like Tupac.
Yeah, it was just long. It was so fucking long. There was a point fairly well through it where it's like, okay, he has got to get like imprisoned and beat here in the next few minutes if this is gonna hit 2 hours. And then we look it up and it's like, oh no, it's like 2.5 fucking hours. We still got like an hour left.
Yeah, it was like 138 minutes was what it said on IMDb. But like sometimes I wonder if like movies seem longer because I don't know when the fuck they're gonna end. That was not the case in this one because we knew how much plot was left, and it was like, he's not even in Guess that many yet. Guess, you know, the garden.
But yeah, it was. Well, in the like 15-minute scene of him just dragging the cross around, because you gotta have that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was when he made a black friend. It was like one of the few black people in this movie was the guy that came over and helped him schlep the thing.
Yeah, it's just. There was weird stuff throughout it. Like, it does like this little like montage of the Bible at the beginning.
Yeah, I think that was just like bits and pieces for the rest of the miniseries. Must have been.
Which it had some pretty cool looking stuff that they did there, like showing like the birth of Adam. Like, there's literally like a guy like busting up from the ground and shit. Like it had like a really cool like visual look to it, and you know they were showing like some interesting little scenes. But I think a lot of their production value went into sweeping camera shots and less into let's make a CG backdrop that looks like a temple to use over and over and over during transitions between shots, because the whole thing looked pretty decent. Like, it was filmed well enough. But then you'd have, like, oh, but meanwhile, back at the temple with the Pharisees, and it would cut to this CG shot of a temple, which was so, like, muddy looking, and, like, the graphic was just all murky. It's like if right now you were to go home and, like, it's like, I am going to load a game that I bought from, like, you know, the first PlayStation. Mm-hmm. Like, it looked really good back then. It won't look good now, and you'll be like, wow, that looks dirty as shit and really fucking generic. That's how this building looked. Like, it looked like somebody, like it was made for, like, a made-for-TV thing back in, like, 1996.
I didn't notice that so much, but you tend to notice that sort of stuff more than I do.
Oh, it looked terrible. It looked like it was like a loading screen from like fucking Mist.
How did you think they did with the the editing the different pieces together?
It made the movie, like, or at least the beginning parts where it's Jesus doing his world tour and sold out crowds. Mm-hmm. It made that kind of disjointed and incredibly fast paced, which it kind of skewed your sense of time as how long this movie was going on. Mm-hmm. Like, oh shit, he's already going into the city on a donkey. Fuck, we're halfway there. No, just that other stuff was like 5-minute clips here and there. Like, let's go fishing. Toss it out there. Now you're with me. Cut scene. So then there's 13 of us now. Like, whoa. Fucking what happened? What happened there? Show us Pete's origin story, and then the rest of us came.
They showed the Matthew's origin story.
They picked him up on the way.
They sure did. That's kind of how they picked all of them up.
I don't know. We never saw that happen.
I think that, like...
It'd be like if in Ocean's 11, it's like,
with some movie
hey, Brad
adaptations-
Pitt, would you like to help me rob a casino? Sure, George Clooney. Okay, next scene. There's 11 of them in the casino. Sorry, 10.
I think that's funny.
There's 10 of them, and Don Cheadle's is in the fucking parking lot.
Because I was about to call you on that.
I'm laughing because that was Monuments Man.
But, like, with some movie adaptations of books, you know, it's a little annoying when they leave gigantic chunks out. But I think with a movie like this, it's a fair assumption that if you're watching it, you've read the book.
Still, from an editing standpoint, it's jarring because, like, occasionally they would put in, like, little cards to let us know 3 days have passed. And then other times it'd be like, well, there's a shitload of us now. Like, well, how did time pass then?
I get where you're coming from. I found the pacing to be like not jarring at all. You know, I thought it flowed pretty well. The only thing that bugged me is that Jesus appeared to only be up on the cross for like 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, no. As soon as you put someone on that thing, it's like dead. Yeah, that went pretty quick. Oh, and them actually doing the whole nail bit too. Like, apparently
I missed
they
that
did.
part. I was out in the bathroom mostly because I didn't want to watch nails get hammered into his hands.
Oh no, it's okay. It was PG-13. It was in a cutaway.
Oh, okay.
It was like you know.
Were
Like,
the nails this big around? Because
it was like as big around as my pinky.
well then
Like
flipping...
it's like we're gonna do it. Cut to his face, and you just heard
was
one hit.
Bob Vila doing it.
No, because then when they're lifting the thing up, it's like apparently they just didn't even give a shit because the nails are still like this far out of his hand. Like, he's not nailed to anything; they just nailed his hand. Like, you can squirm out of those little ropes and just run off. Yeah, each one, it was just like one hit.
Apparently his ma's big enough to lift up that cross by herself, so she could just pull it out of the ground and ran off with him. I'm sick of talking about the Jesus movie.
So Jesus movie.
It's not funny bad. It's not surprisingly good. It's pretty much exactly what you'd expect.
The best part of it, in my opinion, was the trailer.
Yeah, the trailer, he was so stunningly white and off-putting.
Yeah, he was Roman Catholic Jesus.
Just like the glistening glow and the feathered 70s hair. And it was just piercing brown eyes and a piss poor wig. Oh, they did kept doing
Got
like
that
the
polyester shit
all of
going
a sudden Carrie glance, you know? Like you expected like a cabinet to slam shut when you looked at stuff.
Well, in the trailer, because I literally got around to watching the trailer for this movie, like, yesterday.
Do you think you fell asleep during it?
I almost fell asleep during the trailer. Like, this is so boring. And it was. But watching the trailer, because I didn't know what this movie was supposed to be. Like, Brad texts me, he's like, "Oh, hey, can you see Sexy Jesus?" I'm like, "The fuck movie is Sexy Jesus?" And he's like, "Oh, it's actually called Son of God." I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, that sounds like a not serious movie." And I pull up the trailer, and I was waiting for it to be like shenanigans. Like, I honestly was.
Oh, no.
Well, just because, like, the shit-eating grins he's constantly throwing around at people. Like, I was waiting for... I'm serious. Like, I was waiting for it to be, like, some sort of, like it's fucking religious movie or something.
Like, not another religious movie?
The same thing happened to me.
Because, like, he's saying things that seem like it could be, like, followed with, like, record scratch, and then people saying something stupid. But it just never happened. Like, it's like, would be easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle. But what about a goat? Yeah! Oh, Jesus. But none of that ever happened, so it was just like...
Talking about year one.
That's what I thought. Apparently that's what I thought this was going to be, because it just seemed like...
Some comedians got a bit about how you put the camel in a blender and then squirt it through the eye of the needle with like a little pipette.
Over the course of
Lawyered.
many years.
You're rich, you got time. Eddie Izzard, I think, is it.
But yeah, it's just the trailer. You keep thinking that there's going to be a punchline to what's going on, and then there isn't, and then there fucking is, because it's the whole trailer, and then it's like goes to black, just Son of God, and then it cuts back to Jesus, and he's got his arms stretched out. He's like, "I'm coming soon."
Okay, I didn't see that trailer, because he actually does say that in the movie.
Yeah, phrasing. And B is like, yeah, it comes up in the movie, but in context.
Sometimes like,
So they edit it. So
for the
they're selling this as a legitimate, like, church-going movie, and then they edit it for him to look like a total schmuck. I'm coming soon, he says through a shit-eating grin.
I'm just laughing at the wheezing coming from stereo from the back seat.
But I saw that and I'm like, okay, I'm fucking lost now. Is this a comedy? Is it like the fucking Life Aquatic where they just cut all the punchlines out to make it
You just have to buy it on
tense?
DVD to see if it's got any deleted scenes.
I think that's how I convinced Allison the other day to try watching it again because she doesn't like it.
Oh, Life Aquatic?
Yeah, we were talking about it at the Super Bowl. I'm like, no, watch the DVD. All the jokes are in the deleted scene.
There's that one scene that's just untenable, but then you watch the deleted scene, and right after they cut, a guy runs by on fire.
Just no reason. He's just on fire.
Leave that in! Okay, let's talk about previews, because seriously, sick of talking about the Jesus movie. Because we got the one about the girl who's dying of potential explosion. I don't know what the hell disease she's got. She says she's apparently a grenade that's going to go off and destroy everything in her wake.
I don't know. It seemed like it was a fucking Nick Sparks movie.
Yeah, probably.
Like, the only
Like
possible...
Autumn in New York, or...
Yeah. The only possible end I can see for that movie is that, and then she dies of her terminal illness.
Well, maybe it'll be like that Innocent Vincent Belay book where it turns out that he dies and she lives on.
What a twist.
What a twist indeed.
And I know I've seen that guy in something. I think he was maybe like... I think he was the guy that's nice to Carrie in the remake.
Oh, okay, I didn't see it.
I think it's the same guy.
This girl is the one apparently who was gonna play Mary Jane in a Spider-Man movie, but then they didn't like her because she wasn't pretty enough. Apparently. This is not the first time I've seen this preview, but...
Then maybe they shouldn't have hired her based on not ever seeing her? I don't know.
I thought she was pretty enough. Anyway, I'm thinking I've had this discussion before. What other previews did we get?
Oh, we got a couple that were just like generic, like they didn't know what the hell to put with this. Like the trailer for like Rio 2.
Yeah, that doesn't look good. It looks like I don't have to go to it.
Yeah. Not my bag. There's a bird that's Bruno Mars.
Yeah, he's got like floppy bird hair and a bird domain that he built with his strength and brawn. And there's a Carlos Mencia bird, and a Jamie Foxx bird,
And a Will.I.Am bird.
and a Will.I.Am bird, and Tracy Morgan is a bulldog.
There's like 1,000 people in this movie. What else did we get?
We got something that I was interested in seeing, but I can't remember what it was.
Oh, we got a trailer for a movie that I have no idea if it's even going to come here or not. It's called Heaven is for Real.
Which one was that?
Movie that's apparently this like 5-year-old kid almost
Oh,
dies,
fuck that movie.
and
It's like Greg Kinnear, right?
yeah, Greg Kinnear's his dad.
It's like his stupefied father, and he like almost dies and comes back with like heaven knowledge.
It's-
Mommy, you used to have a baby, but it died in your tummy. I met her in heaven.
I saw a guy. He said he was your dad. He said you called him Pop Pop. It's like, you saw Pop Pop?
Was this him?
Was this an old picture? Like, no, in heaven everybody's young.
Like a young picture. Yep, that's Pop Pop.
Ah, like going around to like old ladies. Like, my son, he got shot in Afghanistan. Like, he was sad that you're sad, but he loves you. Like, ah.
You know, Brad's gonna try to send you to this one now, right?
It's the
You know
most.
you're fucking yourself.
It's the most obnoxious little kid since fucking Jonathan Lipnicki. And Greg Kinnear is just looking around like, oh my god. I don't know, honey. I mean, these things, he shouldn't know these things, but he knows things like heaven stuff now.
Honestly, the most annoying part of that preview for me is based on the unbelievable true story.
Oh yeah, by the way, it's true story, so heaven's real.
Yeah, heaven's real and some
Proof.
little kid went there. So that's a scoop.
Yeah.
Here first.
This just in. They'll be breaking this probably on CNN tomorrow, but you heard it here first.
Posted. Well, tomorrow after this video gets posted, you'll hear it on CNN.
The unbelievable
Whenever this
true
one drops.
story. This bombshell drops. Oh my god, that looked fucking intolerable.
I think they just gave it to us because it was Jesus-y and we were at the Jesus movie.
It really reminded me, though, like the way the entire town is acting about it. It reminded me of the movie Phenomenon.
It was like half the town was like, we love you, you're the Messiah. And the other half were like, go to hell, demon boy, and like throwing rocks at him. It's like there's no people like me and be like, okay, and then go about my day.
Yeah, I mean, like, turn on the news. Little boy sees people in heaven, like, bullshit.
Oh, he says dead people, does he? I think I've seen this movie before.
But it's just, this kid is just so obnoxiously just, like, designed to be adorable type thing.
Yeah, the adorable with a capital A. And then a dur.
Like, he doesn't know how to pronounce R's, so it's, you know, yeah, like you said, like, I saw that you had a baby in your tummy, but then it died.
I didn't know I had another sister.
It's like, what are you talking about? The baby in your tum-tums. No!
Like they're in the hospital, and I guess like the reason he went to heaven is because he had like
I
a
could
disease,
see-
and, like the word miracle was thrown around.
I could see you in one room, Mommy, and I could see Daddy in another.
And he was yelling at God.
He was having a fight with God. Like,
You shouldn't yell at God. That's your Jesus.
unless you Jesus.
Jesus is allowed to yell at God, but mostly they're just on chill terms.
Yeah, they're pretty
He's like, "What up, Jesus?" And I'm like, "Not much, just chill with my millions."
He's like, oh, that's cool. That shit tight. That's tight. Heaven is for real. Like, faux real. Fucking hell, dude.
Final thoughts, Brian? What is your stance, Jesus-wise?
On this movie or just in general?
Oh, no, pick one salacious.
In case you haven't figured it out, I'm not really the religious type.
What?
I know, it's staggering to believe, especially at this point in the review. I'd feel really bad if this whole time you've been like, I don't know, I mean...
Maybe he's just being tongue-in-cheek about his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
I'm kidding. We hang. We tight. It's cool. No, it's that. I
Can we
don't
chill
know.
with my millions?
Yes, my millions of buttons in my button
Do
collection.
you really have a million buttons?
Wouldn't you like to know? I dive into them Scrooge McDuck style.
That would explain all the button prints on your face.
And also explain the not having my goddamn skull caved in like Scrooge McDuck would have. Seriously, gold doubloons? Yeah, just jump in there. That won't hurt.
Maybe they're pirate gold.
Gold's a soft metal. What are pirate doubloons? Which solves that problem.
Pirate gold has magical properties, so it might part like the sea.
Wouldn't it just make him like, I don't know, a dick?
Oh, and I'm the queen of non sequiturs. What?
No, like all of the pirates in like movies where pirate gold gives you magic powers are dicks. So it'd make him a dick.
No, most of the pirates of the Caribbean are dicks. They're just misunderstood.
Or rapists and murderers.
What Disney movie did you watch?
The one where they're like trying to track down Keira Knightley and rape her.
Oh, I'm talking about the one where they're chasing the puppy dog down the beach, all adorable style, wearing like bonnets and parasols. That's my pirates. I think we got off the rails at some point.
I'm having more fun talking about that than this movie. It's boring as shit. It really is. It really does feel like somebody just made a fucking clip show out of a mini-series, but realized after they finished it, oh shit, it's really fucking long. Oh well. And it's... You don't feel like you're watching something that was made to be shown like that. Honestly, it feels like you're in like a really, 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 really long like Sunday school class at fucking midnight. It's really late. Even if it wasn't though, I'm pretty sure I still would have fallen asleep at some point during that movie. It's boring. It's so boring. It's like actually listening to someone reading from the Bible. I'm sorry, I'm that guy that even when I would go to church with my mom, I fall asleep. I'm like during like the sermon because it's so dry. It's so boring listening to someone preach.
I'm gonna fall asleep. You got the rest of this review.
She starts thinking about the movie, what she thought of it, and just fell out.
Buttons.
We live here now.
Good night, Brian.
Good night.
Good night, lady. Good night, Sarah. Good night, Brad.
Mm.
Good night, the internet.
Ugh.